Greetings, my friends. I'm Andrea, astrologer, and I welcome you to the monthly update for July. We finished June with a massive energy astrologically, with a lot of volatility due to Uranus for crypto. So what can we expect in July? Just a spoiler alert, it is the month of the retrogrades. Will it be a catalyst for further development or rather a slowdown? So let's find out. I walk you through this monthly report on the global astrology, which is available 1 month ahead for Patreon subscribers, so they are prepared in advance. And we do have a month of major astrological shifts. As we pointed out, it's the retrogrades, but not only this. So I have another surprise for you. So let's dive into all this. And we have also asteroids turning retrograde, which is quite interesting, and this can add another flavor to the price action. These asteroids and their effects are not so deeply known because some of them are quite very slow moving, but still they do bring new aspects to the price action, so we will analyze this as well. And we do have very likely a big change in the energy in the markets in general. And with retrogrades, we do have a temporary slowdown that we can really expect because the planets will need to shift. And this means that they will become stationary before they turn retrograde and also after. So it's like a car which will temporarily stop. And until we will have again a lot of speed, we will need to wait a bit, and this means that we will not have the normal flow of energy, but we will incur some delays in terms of planetary influences. And we do have also Uranus very powerful still. We have already registered a important aspect for Bitcoin on the 27th of June, but we will continue with this Uranian energy into July as well. And I mark it with the fire aspects, which would really signal volatility. For me, it's like fire is also dangerous because one needs to be very hands-on and monitoring the price action, but it's also a very powerful force which can bring new peaks or bottoms. But everything develops very fast in general. This would not last, even if we get delays from the perspective of the timing of the aspects themselves. And the month is already starting full of action already from the 4th of July when Neptune turns retrograde. And usually we have this stationary period with any planet, but with Neptune it is even more so because it will last longer. Neptune is a planet that is moving very slowly. It has a 165-year cycle roughly, so this means that this stationary period will be felt even 10 days before and after. It can be very strong depending on the sign, and in the sidereal Pisces, which is the case with Neptune right now, it is pretty strong. We know that in tropical we are with this Aries energy for Neptune, but in any case it is a strong position for Neptune at the moment. And what happens with Neptune? In general, it is a ruler for sleep, for alcohol, even for escapism, so it's like even drugs, it could be any way to really try to escape reality, and it rules also illusions in general. So this means that when it's retrograde, it will invert these qualities, so they will become less, they will fade, and reality checks will set in. So people will be more realistic about prices and about the valuation of stocks of various companies. Even the AI hype might slow down a bit. Just be aware of this. And we will have this influence until December 10th, 2025. So it is a long-term influence that it is a cyclical one, and we have it almost each year. And in the second part of the year, it is like this. And then December is usually a month for big moves just before the year closes. Then the big surprise also is the fact that on July 7th, Uranus enters the tropical Gemini. And this is really a trigger for a wave of innovation and disruption. And these are linked to Gemini-related matters, which is short-term travel, news, commerce, trading, but also social networks. Even if they are not so international, they are more local in nature. They will really bring a lot of new trends here, and expect disruption for incumbents. I would say that this is a possible manifestation of this energy. And it is really very important for trading and markets, because markets will not be the same for sure. We say that since years also with the shift of crypto towards large scale and institutional adoption. But it is also important to understand the fact that the action, the job of traders themselves will be different. We already feel that with the AI. Of course, it will be a while until AI will be trusted to such a degree that would be responsible for the management of big sums of money. But I think this is really a development that starts now, and it will last until August 2032, this long-term transit. In the sidereal zodiac, we don't have this support yet. It is still in Taurus, but it shows this fact that from Taurus, from the finance pure point of view, which is more static and it's about wealth, we go into the manifestation, into Gemini, the action-oriented part of the financial system, actually. So this is the overall climate where we are in. And what can we expect for this year? Of course, also this year we will feel the transit for several months, and it will be in Gemini until September 6th, 2025, roughly traversing the first degree of the tropical Gemini before retrograding back into Taurus, basically for the last time. And then the last quarter will be again a deja vu of the Taurus part, and it will be interesting because we will need to see some final result to it, but we will see that only in Q1 2026. I think it will be around February that this transit in Taurus will complete on the tropical zodiac. Then another important part of the month is also the mid of it, which has on July 13th Saturn turning retrograde. And it is Saturn, yes, so it is often associated with restrictions, slow down in regulatory progress, and it adds in general a layer of caution or even fear in the markets. And this retrograde motion is also on until November 28th, 2025. So it will be on top of the whole climate in the financial markets until the end of the year almost. So it's a really important month ahead, where also law will be more important. So it's important to obey to regulatory actions and orders issued during this time, and it will be more testing, I would say, but it can add also some stability, especially for the financial assets, for example, altcoins, which would have a positive aspect coming from Saturn and another trigger for growth. Usually these two would bring the perfect combination for stable growth. Then we do have on the 18th of July, Mercury turning retrograde, a time of shifts in the markets, and the moment of turning is quite sharp, I would say, and it happens suddenly and fast, not like in the case of Neptune and Saturn, which take their time. Saturn as well, not so long as Neptune, but you can still expect like 5 days before and after the point of turning that we will have this strong stationary effect with delays. Mercury can really steer volatility on the day of turning, even at the hour. Sometimes it happens like this, and we might see pump and dump scenarios. Whatever would be there at that time, we will have the inverted effect usually for a short period of time. And yes, in this next weeks, when we have Mercury retrograde, we will expect a slowdown in momentum, and we can have also consolidation periods typically while Mercury is stationary. Yes, it moves fast, but some days around, like 3 days before and after, we can really feel this stationary effect. And this will take the whole second part of July until August 1st, when it will turn direct. And it is also another point, the asteroid Chiron, which is between Saturn and Uranus. It will really move with low speed, but usually this is a trigger for retesting in financial markets in terms of price levels. This is a area of continuous research, but as we discover it, we will put this on the table. So Chiron's retrograde typically coincides with previous levels. Yes, that would really be reached after periods of consolidation and delays. I would say from July 15th to August 15th, we already feel Chiron's influence, and it is really a matter how much Chiron would affect a certain asset, that it is the degree that it will be felt, but otherwise it is a influence that is active for the markets as such and needs to be taken into account. Chiron would also bring a sort of vulnerability, because it's the wounded healer. It would be also a time of reflection to think about previous mistakes and what were, for example, the investments that were not lucrative in the last months. This is an energy that can help you to see this in a brighter light and to adjust your trading strategy, your investing strategy accordingly. Then we do have really a point to make here at the end of July, 30th of July. We see this turn for the markets in regards to Chiron. Also Mercury, which would stay really in a very strong position, since we will have the Sun-Mercury Cosmic conjunction on July 31st, while Mercury will be very powerful because it's stationary. It's just before the moment it will be direct again on August 1st. So this means that we might have a local market peak at this point, depending on the financial asset and what else happens in the sky, but the energy is very strong, so it will be a fuel of the global astrology into the horoscopes of the specific financial assets. Now we don't have major outer planet aspects that are exact this month, but I think we do have events that are plenty, with all the turning retrogrades, with Uranus starting a 7-year long transit in the tropical Gemini, which is associated with the markets. So it's a very eventful month. And these influences may significantly shape the long-term direction of market movements. Why? Because you see some of them last until December, the mid of December, the retrogrades. We do have Saturn with influence until the end of November. So these are really energies that set the tone for the markets for the second half of the year. An interesting July ahead. I hope this information makes you prepared for what is set to come in the markets, and be aware that we have the setup for long-term trends here also in terms of TA for the various markets until the end of the year roughly. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for liking and subscribing. It helps the channel. I am very grateful for that, and until next time, be joyful. See you.